Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Sons of the Forest. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about $30, and I stress Early Access. That means everything that you're about to see here is most definitely subject to change. So you can play this single player or multiplayer, and they are separate saves. So if you're going to play with a lot of people, I would suggest starting a multiplayer playthrough, and it supports up to 8 people. You cannot, mix and match your single player and multiplayer playthroughs. The main difference between the two, in single player, it seems like if you die twice, game over. The first time, the game, lets you wake up, and you can collect your stuff and get out, and then off you go. But when you die a second time, that's it. In multiplayer, it seems like we can die as much as we want to, and off we go. We haven't had any, permadeaths or anything like that. So, in this game, you take on the shoes of, I guess, a SWAT member of some kind of special ops, and you're going to this remote island to find these missing persons. I have no idea if this is any way related to the first Forest. I played the original game briefly, but I didn't really play it a whole lot. Of course, it's not... this is a video game. Everything's going to go wrong, and you end up crashing. Now, what's cool about this is that you will get a random crash site, and so far I've seen 2 different ones. I don't know how many there are. The ones that I am aware of, there's this beach, which is where I started. And the second time I played in multiplayer, we landed on some mountaintop in this snowy mountaintop area. So we had to sort of figure out where we were and go from there. And you start off with just this basic, toolkit, it's like an inventory kit of sorts. Very similar to, the first Forest and other games where you have to combine items to make crap. You also start with this little book. On the right-hand side of your book are, they're directions on how to freeform make stuff. And in your left hand, you can make, blueprint stuff. You can place it on the ground and add stuff to the shadow resources to build. So there's both freeform building in this game, and there's, blueprint building. Although the freeform, I think, is going to be a bit more helpful to you if you want to custom certain things. Of course, you'll run into creatures right away when you start playing. There's this lady that was originally scared of me. I think she's actually one of the people you're looking for from your laptop when you're on your helicopter. I believe her name is Victoria. Anyway, she'll be scared of you at first, and then over time, she'll start to trust you. And of course, there are other inhabitants on the island. They, they're skittish of you at first, but I don't know how the AI is programmed, to be honest with you, but it seems like the more I actually go out and murder them, the more they come after me. And you'll find some really crazy stuff in the environment. You'll find various, camps with cannibals. I even found this weird creature. I don't know what it was, but it was tied up to this camp. And it had no face. It was just this giant mouth across half of its body. It was so freaky and so weird. I have no idea what it is, but it hurt. If it weren't for Pony, I probably would have been dead. That's the nice thing about playing multiplayer. The AI doesn't seem to be smart enough to focus on more than one person at a time. So as long as one person has aggro and can dodge out of the way, the other people can just come up behind and murder them. So I highly recommend playing with multiplayer. You do get, aside from the lady that kind of hangs around your camp, there's a guy, Kelvin, who you can order around. He lost his hearing in the crash, so you have to, write out directions and show him, I want you to go get these sticks and bring them to me, or I want you to do this, or I want you to do that. So that's kind of cool. Along the way, you'll find various points of interest on the map. There are main ones that the game will direct you to, but for the most part, you're kind of encouraged to go out on your own and find your own things. We even found these, they're not segways, but they're powered unicycles. I don't know what they're called in real life, but you can actually ride them around. You can crash and burn, fall off of them. Luckily, those unicycles and the sleds that you can craft to lug things around, they actually appear on your GPS minimap, so you won't lose them as easily, which is kind of nice. I really like that. There are stuff that you can find in suitcases scattered around the island, and there's actually an option to where you can turn off the ability for them to respawn items, if you want to, that is. Speaking of which, there are custom settings that you can create when you first boot up your game. You can have the environment be a bit more hostile to you, like the cold can kill you, there's hunger, there's thirst, and if you so choose it, you can make it so that the game, like, you can actually lose health if you don't have these bars filled up. I actually turned those on. Typically, I like a more casual experience, but for a survival game like this, I feel like let's just go all in with it. And it's not that difficult, but yeah, most of my time has been spent base building. I have 18 hours on record, and I've maybe explored 5 to 10% of the whole island. Most of my time has been chopping down trees, crafting a base, just figuring out how to build certain things and how to stay alive. And that's one of the complaints I have with this game, is that a lot of it is like, it forces you to wiki, because, how does this mechanic work? Or how do I build this? We still haven't figured out how to power the stupid light bulb. We have a solar panel connected to a ramp, as the little directions book tells us to do, but for whatever reason, we still can't turn the light on. We don't know what we're doing wrong with it, but like, there's a lot of mechanics in this game that aren't explained very well. And Pony was even having issues understanding some of the basic stuff, like how to create like a campfire. We found a cooking pot, but how to actually get the cooking pot on the fire, that was also a pain in the butt to figure out. How to even add firewood to a fire. We were like, well, how much do we chop up this wood? In half, in full? Okay. We still can't put this on now. What? Oh, we have to make sure the maximum number of sticks are on this thing, and now we can put the campfire in. Oh, you can stack the campfire? I had no idea. You just have to do this instead. So there's a lot of little things in this game that are just annoy the living crap out of me, because they don't explain the mechanics very well. I think the game needs to do a better job in sort of introducing a new player to, all the different mechanics. I mean, I kind of like the whole, figuring stuff out thing, but if I have to alt-tab in Wiki, that sort of breaks the immersion. I will say, I love the exploration element. Again, in addition to finding, like, the cannibal camps, you'll come across these caves, and to be honest with you, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of exploring yet. I've been focusing on base building. But these caves are really creepy. They are scattered around the map, and luckily your GPS actually tells you where they are. And quick tip about the GPS, middle click, you can actually zoom in and out. Very helpful. Anyway, these caves seem to be like a progression system, where we got to a cave where there was this pool of water, but we couldn't get far in it because we didn't have, I guess there's a rebreather in this game that you have to find before you can get it. And there was another point of interest where we needed a shovel, but we didn't have the shovel. So it's like, you need to find this item, and then you can do these things. And then once you do these things, then you'll find this item and you can do these things. So it's like you have to sort of blindly bounce around the map, trying to find the items that you need to progress the story in this particular game. There is also a water element to this as well, very light. As far as I can tell. Up to this point, all I've had to do is swim out to a point of interest and collect some things from this raft. It's one of the very first things that you'll do in this game. I don't know how much sea life is out there, but there is most definitely something nasty that will probably kill you. So, like, I don't want to spoil too much more than that. I will just simply say that for the 17, 18 hours that I've played, again, 16 hours of it was probably base building and just having fun collecting resources. That's the kind of thing I like to do in games like this. I love the survival and the base building, whereas other people will love it for the exploration. I'm having a great time with it. Quick shout out to my Patreon member, Brian, by the way, for gifting me a copy of this game. And then Pony liked it so much I bought a copy for her, and we've been playing it co-op together. It's a fantastic game. It really is. Again, my chief complaint with it is that it's lacking in direction in certain areas, like trying to figure out, how do I progress? How do I get this thing to work? How do I build this thing? Okay, I've followed the directions on my directions book, but I can't seem to finish it. What does this mean in the directions book? So, little things like that. It's like the whole don't starve together and other like Klee games that you just can't figure out because it's very directionless and doesn't tell the user anything. The combat is satisfying, very gruesome. You will be attacked on a regular basis. We've taken out so many cannibal camps in this game, but yet they keep respawning and attacking. That's another thing we have to wiki because we don't know how to stop them from attacking our base. But I love it. It's great. Like, you can make fish traps, animal traps, birdhouses for feathers. But I'll leave the rest to you to figure out. I don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, Sons of the Forest, highly recommended. It is a lot of fun. Just be warned, there is a bit of a learning curve. You can customize it to some degree, but I do think that, it's early access. It does need a bit more work. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.